All right, so you're interested in McHenry, Illinois real estate. Smart move. The Midwest is hot right now, and we're diving deep today.
Yeah, it's really interesting stuff.
We've got insights from Michael Linton. He's a Chicago commercial real estate expert, 38 years in the game. You can find him at chicagodealflow.com.
Been following his work for years.
Uh,
Super sharp guy.
We're talking demographics, consumer segmentation, even traffic patterns, all about McHenry. Get ready to sound really smart.
I'm excited to dig into the data. Michael always finds these little details that most people just completely miss.
Okay, let's unpack this. The McHenry Trade Area Report, it says the median household income is $78,769.
That's significant, right?
Definitely above the national average,
hmm
which tells us the local economy is strong. And the median age, 40.1 years, a tad older than the national average.
Interesting. So we might see some trends in housing because of that, right?
Exactly. Now, the report also mentioned this dominant consumer segment, Parks and Rec. What's that all about?
Parks and Rec, it's one of those categories from tapestry segmentation. It's a way to categorize neighborhoods. It's based on lifestyles, consumer behavior, all that.
So like a cheat sheet to figure out what makes a neighborhood tick.
Exactly. Parks and Rec folks, think families. They prioritize community, outdoor living, weekends at the park, barbecuing, cheering at their kids' soccer games, the whole 9 yards.
Sounds idyllic. But how does Parks and Rec actually play out in McHenry? What kind of homes are we talking?
Well, in McHenry, they usually go for single-family homes, good-sized yards. Think spacious ranches or those classic two-story houses with a big backyard. For kids, maybe a dog or two.
Not just any single-family homes, ones that really fit that family-centric outdoor lifestyle.
Right. And they want to be near parks, walking trails, maybe a community pool, those sorts of things. They're willing to invest in that lifestyle.
And this is where those national trends you mentioned come in, right?
Yeah.
Parks and Rec is projected to grow nationally. So what kind of impact could that have on McHenry?
That's the big question. If McHenry sees more of these families moving in, it could mean increased demand for those family-oriented properties. Could even drive up prices.
A potential gold rush for some, but maybe some growing pains too.
Potentially, yeah.
And Parks and Rec is just one piece of the puzzle in McHenry, right? There are 4 other dominant lifestyle segments in the mix: Middleburg, Workday Drive, Front Porches, and Green Acres.
Each one brings its own flavor to the market. They influence housing preferences, local businesses, everything. Like Middleburg, for example. They lean towards those classic established neighborhoods. A bit further out, strong sense of community.
Those charming tree-lined streets, well-maintained homes, I can picture it.
They value tradition, practicality,
Yeah.
the buy American type.
I bet they'd love a good local hardware store.
Absolutely. And then on the other end of the spectrum, you've got Workday Drive. These are your professionals, often commuting to the city, but choosing McHenry for, well, the peace and quiet.
Right, and probably a bit more manageable cost of living, too.
Exactly.
So I'm picturing stylish, newer build homes, maybe with a home office tucked away for those days when they're working remotely.
You're getting it. They value convenience, often willing to pay a premium for it. Think townhomes, condos, those new build communities with all the amenities, clubhouses, fitness centers, you name it.
And this is where things get really interesting for real estate, don't they?
Oh, absolutely. Different strokes for different folks, right?
Mm.
Each segment drives demand for a certain type of property.
But before we get into those other segments, let's talk more about that Workday Drive commute. Those city commutes mean multiple cars, yeah. Yeah, 2 cars at least.
Right? Yeah. At least. They're probably thinking about fuel efficiency too, reliability.
Yeah,
Those are folks who value a smooth commute, for sure.
makes sense. So we've talked about families, professionals, but not everyone in McHenry fits into those categories. That's where Front Porches comes in, right? What's unique about this segment?
Front Porches is interesting. It's a real mix. Young families just starting out singles, maybe even some retirees. You see a higher percentage of renters in this segment, and they're definitely budget conscious. Always looking for a deal.
So are we talking about those charming older apartments downtown? Or maybe those fixer-upper houses that need some love?
You got it. Think cozy bungalows, maybe with a shared yard, or those multifamily homes that have been turned into apartments. They're not looking for fancy. They want affordability and a sense of community.
And I bet they're finding creative ways to enjoy McHenry, like the local farmers market or free events at the
Yeah,
library.
absolutely. They're resourceful, plugged into their community. They might be streaming movies instead of cable, doing potlucks instead of fancy restaurants.
A different kind of savvy, right? Making the most of what's available. Okay, let's head to the outskirts for our last segment, Green Acres.
This is where you find your self-sufficient types. The DIYers, the gardeners, the folks who can fix just about anything.
Not afraid of a little hard work. Maybe even prefer it.
Exactly. They're all about that hands-on lifestyle. Think classic single-family homes with some land, maybe a workshop or a barn. They're probably growing their own veggies, raising chickens in the backyard.
Okay, so we're talking those bigger properties,
Yeah.
a little more space between neighbors, the kind of place where you can really spread out,
Oh.
enjoy the peace and quiet.
Exactly. And don't forget the trucks and SUVs, probably more than one. These folks value practicality functionality in their homes and their vehicles.
It's amazing how each segment paints a different picture of McHenry. It's really diverse. If you were investing in McHenry, which segment would you be most interested in?
Ooh, that's a tough one. They all have their strengths, but that's what makes this kind of analysis so valuable. It's about more than just finding a property. It's about understanding the people who will be living there.
Matching the right property to the right lifestyle.
Exactly.
Now, Michael's insights didn't stop there. He also gave us some fascinating data on traffic patterns in McHenry.
Traffic patterns, often overlooked, but they can tell you so much how people move through a city, where they shop, work, spend their free time.
It's like a secret code. You can unlock the rhythm of the place. And Michael highlighted the Elm Street corridor. Over 31,000 daily trips. That's a lot of activity for a town McHenry's size. What does that tell us?
Sounds like a busy commercial hub with that many people passing through every day. It's got to be a prime spot for businesses, retail centers, restaurants, maybe some offices.
Makes you wonder what's already there and what opportunities are still up for grabs, right? Imagine a cool coffee shop or a boutique right on that corridor, catering to those workday drive commuters or the front porch bargain hunters.
It's all about understanding the flow, the needs of the people. Now, this kind of traffic data, it's not always easy to find, but there are resources. Like the Realtors Property Resource, RPR for short. It's a gold mine for real estate investors.
It's a secret weapon. So we've covered a lot today. Demographics, those lifestyle segments, traffic patterns, all shaping the McHenry real estate scene.
Just scratching the surface, really. But it's clear McHenry is a dynamic market, lots to offer.
That's the beauty of a deep dive. We get this snapshot, but it's just the beginning.
Right. It's up to the investor, the potential homeowner, to keep digging, keep exploring, see how things evolve.
And speaking of evolving, remember our Parks and Rec folks? That segment's projected to grow nationally. What's that mean for McHenry down the line? What opportunities and challenges might that bring?
That's the million-dollar question. Will McHenry see a wave of those families? If so, could mean even more demand for those family-friendly properties, potentially pushing prices up even further. And of course, it could be great for the local businesses that cater to that demographic.
Yeah, it's like we've got this map. But the real journey is just beginning.
Exactly. This is where the fun starts.
Right? You got to get out there and explore for yourself.
And remember, knowledge is power, especially with real estate. The more you know about a market, the better decisions you can make.
It's true. Whether you want to invest or find that perfect place to settle down, doing your homework is crucial.
Couldn't agree more. And this deep dive, it's giving you a great starting point. We've looked at the hard data, the demographics, the income levels, but we've gone deeper than that.
Way deeper.
Right.
We've gotten into the nitty-gritty of those lifestyle segments.
Right.
Figuring out who lives in McHenry, what makes them tick, and those traffic patterns. Who knew they could be so insightful?
They really do. They tell a story, right?
They really do. It's like we've uncovered this hidden language.
It's all connected, though, isn't it? The people, the places, the patterns, all these threads come together. They make up the fabric of a community.
And if you want to invest in real estate, you got to understand that fabric.
Absolutely. 100%.
It's like we've decoded the DNA of McHenry real estate demographics, lifestyle preferences,
Yeah.
even those everyday traffic patterns. We've connected the dots.
And now you can use that knowledge to find those opportunities that other people miss.
Exactly. You might see a spot for a new business that's perfect for Parks and Rec families. Or maybe you find a hidden gem of a neighborhood that's calling out to the front porch crowd.
It's out there, waiting for someone with a keen eye to see it.
And that someone could be you. Maybe you'll be the one who discovers McHenry's next big real estate trend.
There you have it, your McHenry Real Estate Deep Dive, courtesy of Michael Linton. And don't forget, this is a snapshot. The market is always changing. So keep that curiosity alive, keep exploring, and never stop digging.
Because you never know. You might just unearth something amazing. Happy exploring, everyone.